Hello, testing, testing. Hello, everyone. How is it going for everyone? Can you hear me? You can hear me? Type loud and clear. Test. Testing. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Hello, everyone. If you are first time listening to my Facebook Live, type first, type number 1. Woohoo! Okay, I think we are live.
Listening to my Facebook.
Okay, can hear myself. Right. Right, how is it everyone? How is it going for everyone? Today is 12th of August, Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. Right, some people find this is how's the week been? And for a lot of people have Monday blues, but for me, actually, sometimes Wednesday is the hardest day because it's the middle of the week, right? And then it's like very far from the last weekend, and then very far from the coming weekend. So, what is your best day? And what is the day that you find is the hardest? Like type in the chat group, right? And what do you have for dinner? If you have do you just have are you the kind that you eat just to fill your stomach, or you really enjoy your dinner, right? Let me know what's your favorite food, right? Give us one moment and share. Right. Keep it coming, keep it coming. We're going live. And today we are talking about a very, very special, very important topic, and one of the most important people skills in your life. Okay. So you don't want to miss this. Come on in, and we're going to start very, very soon. Right? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Eunice. I'm an entrepreneur, speaker, and trainer. Right? I've been running my own business consultancy for the last 10 years, and this year I've started a new on a new journey and a new season for me that we are promoting on this daily people skills. So we have this Facebook page, we have the YouTube channel. So if you like and share any of the things that we have shared, you have learned something, like and share and subscribe, and then share with your friends, right? So a lot of people think that people skills is all about EQ, communication skills, and leadership skills. Those are good, but it's actually go much, much beyond that. So to me, people skills is actually start from your own self, because before you can manage others, you must first manage yourself, right? So it's just like some people say that, oh, I wish I can have very good neighbors, and I always tell them, don't wish to have a good neighbor, but be a good neighbor, right? So this is what my aim of starting this daily people skills, whereby we share bite size and we share people skills hacks to all of you, whereby we can improve day by day, 1% better than yesterday, because learning is ongoing and improvement is just ongoing. So let me know, where are you watching from? If you're from overseas, which country are you from? What time is it there? If you're in Singapore, let me know what you're doing now. Are you having your dinner and watching this at the same time, or you have already finished your dinner, or are you on the train or whatsoever? Let me know. How do you get to know this, right? Okay, so I think most of you will be like my personal friend, but if you don't know me at all, then how do you get to know this? And what do you do, and then what's the best thing that has happened to you today, right? I always think that sometimes we may not have the best day, it may not be a happy day, but it's always a blessed day, because there's always some blessing that we can count on, right? And without further ado, Yeah, a lot of people they will want to wait for a few more minutes, but then I'm thinking maybe you know what, maybe not. Let's just jump right into today's topic. Right. So, do you consider yourself a procrastinator or an action taker? So today we are going to talk about that, right? So, do you consider yourself a procrastinator or an action taker? Actually, you know what? This is not a very good question. A better question is, do you think that you may be occasionally you are a procrastinator and occasionally you are an action taker, right? So you see, for example, for some of you, when it comes to meeting people, right, you will find that, you take action very quickly. But when it comes to paperwork, hello Joe, thanks for listening from the train, right? Okay, make sure you got your mask on and talk to anyone in the train, okay? Right. So we are still having this pandemic going on, and then we have to keep our mask on all the time, and all we are trying to do our best not to talk to anyone on the train during the traveling, right? So as I was saying, right, some of you think that you are a procrastinator, some of you think that an action taker, right? But do you notice sometimes you are a bit of both? Right. So for example, some of you when it comes to meeting people, right, you are let's go. But when you come to paperwork, you're like, it's really, it's so boring for you that you just do whatever you can to just avoid doing that. Whereas some of you is just exactly the opposite. When it comes to the paperwork, you are more than happy to handle it. And then, but when it comes to meeting people, you just like do whatever you can to avoid that, delay that, and just over my dead body kind of thing, find all kind of excuses. So I just want to share with you when it comes to so I just want to share tonight. I want to share with you guys, right? And I want to start off with this debunking this particular myth that we are either a procrastinator or an action taker. We are both. The truth of it is that we are both. Then so if that's the case, then why is it that there are occasions when we take action, and why are there occasions that we just procrastinate like crazy? It's already 2020. We are, which age group are you now? I'm in my 40s, and where did the time go, man? When I look at all the youngsters today, right, I'm like, hey, they just graduated, and that was me, but 20 years ago, that kind of stuff. So I was thinking, where did the time go? And I started thinking, hey, looking back, and what have I done? What have I not done? Where did I procrastinate? Where did I take action? So tonight we are going to look at that in a little bit more in depth, right? Okay, hello Susha, on a walk after a busy day. Wow, that's good, that's good. When it comes to exercise, I will talk a little. Well, I will use exercise a lot tonight, okay? Because I think it's a very good example. I just did a little bit of walk 2 days ago, and then exercise is really something you cannot slack. Just slack for a while, right? I didn't exercise for a while, and I walked 2 rounds, and then I was like fainting away already. So really, if you can just go for a walk, it's good. It's good to clear the mind also, right? So let's share my screen now. Let me see. Okay. So today's topic from procrastinator to action taker, right? Okay. So what makes you take action? What makes someone take action, right? I boil down to these four main reasons, right? Firstly, it's easy. When something is easy, it's really, you can just take action very quickly. For some people, it's very easy for them to pick up the phone to call people. They will just pick up. For some people, it's very easy to just fill in a form. They will just fill in the form. For some people, it's the other way around, right? So you get the gist of it, right? I won't go. It's quite self-explanatory, so I won't go into too much details on this. The second thing is achievable. Now, sometimes there are certain things that are not so easy, but you may think that it's achievable. So, for example, right, in Singapore, we have our highest mountain, our highest hill is called Bukit Timah Hill, right? And for those of you who know or heard or read about it or been there, there's a very, very steep slope at the beginning, and it's really, really, it's really, really hard. But if you think about it, it's not easy. It doesn't fall into the category of easy. But you know what? It is achievable because so many of us, before the circuit breaker, we used to go like quite regularly on every weekend to go there to exercise. It's really hard at first, but you just put one step at a time and move left foot forward, right foot forward. and you will be able to reach the summit at some point. And things get easier with each passing week, right? So in this case, right, it's not really easy, but it's something that you think it is achievable. So so it could be something that make the first sales call that is it might be achievable, is achievable and with a script, right? So it's that's what I mean. Yeah. Thirdly is satisfaction, right? So this is a very, very interesting phenomenon. So for some of you, right, if it's easy and achievable, you will not do it, okay? Because there's no satisfaction in it, right? Why do it when it's so easy? It's very, very common, right? So satisfaction, there are many, many areas that we can talk on, but let me zoom down into three main areas. So satisfaction can come in the form of challenge, right? Some people are motivated by challenge, right? So just now we were talking about exercise, right? Maybe for some of you, you have not been exercising, and and somebody, you might want to set a goal of 5 kilometers, but you know what? 5 kilometers a week, but you know what? 5 kilometers a week is it's not a challenge. In fact, it's achievable. It's nothing exciting about it. But if you set the challenge as to finish a marathon, finish an Ironman, finish a marathon, a triathlon, right? All these, like, I call them the crazy people, right? They need to run a marathon, and I know how hard it is a marathon. I'm a marathon finisher, right? So 42 kilometers is no joke. But these two Ironman and triathlon, you have to cycle and you have to swim, and it's just so hard. So I know of people who do like 7 marathons, one marathon per week, per continent, and it's just crazy, right? But there are people who do it exactly because it is a challenge. It is a great challenge. So for some people, like for me, right? When people say to me, "Oh, you can't do it," oh, that is, when people say that to me, it's like, that's it, challenge taken, right? Some of you are motivated, right? When you are being challenged, you will take that action, right? The second point I want to make under satisfaction is that some of you find satisfaction by helping others, right? So when it comes to your own, so for example, some of you want to start your own business, right? But you just, like, you just don't take action, you just delay, you just procrastinate. But when your friend or your family member wants to start a business, you went all the way out to help them, right? You help them to do the research, you help them to do the testing, you help them to do design things, even, like, if you don't know, you will take all you would make all efforts to help them to make them dreams come true, right? So your motivation is not so much the thing itself. Your motivation is that you want to help others. You like to solve the problem for other people. Maybe you don't like to solve your own problem, but you like to solve other people's problem, and you like to help. And so you when it comes to helping others, this is your motivation. This is what makes you take action. So when it comes to other things, like for example, setting up your business, right? It might be for you, in your case, you might need to have a partner, so that you have someone that you can sort of help to do her support, right? And the third point I want to talk about under this satisfaction is fun, right? So some of you, right, you will take action if it's fun. If it's boring, you will not do it. Whether it's easy or hard, achievable or not, you will not take action. But if it's fun, it doesn't matter how small or how big, you will just go all the way out, and you just enjoy yourself, and just have a day, have a few day, and you just enjoy yourself so much, right? So for example, if you have been tasked at work to do let's say a team building activity for your department, and it's something new, it excites you, and you do it, right? And then and the result was really good, right? It's something novelty, something new. And then your department and somebody else heard about it, another department heard about it, and asked you, hey, we saw, can you do it for our department as well? And this time around, you say, okay, fine, I'll do it. But when you go on to the second round and do the same thing, you might find that your fun level has gone down to 50%, right? And then by the third department who asks you to do the same thing again, by now you are bored to death because you are doing the same thing the third time, right? And and by now, right, I think people at this stage, they will just not take action, and they will just like slack back, and they will just, procrastinate, and you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. This is so boring and all. So you just need to take note of that. So which one are you? Are you challenged by? Are you is challenges? A challenge will make you take action. You help people will take action, or is it fun? Or is there something else that gives you the sense of satisfaction that will make you take action? Is there anything else? If you have, type in the chat box as well. Yeah. So the next one, I want to, with that, right, while you guys are tapping in, let me go on to the number 4 reason, which is actually purpose or calling, right? Now, if you notice, the first 3 is more on a personal level, in the sense that it's really I, me, myself kind of thing, right? For the fourth reason that people take action, right, or the fourth scenario that makes people take action is a deep purpose or deep calling. Now, these people, if you belong to this group, you have a really big heart, and you belong to the world, right? You want to eradicate the world problem, like world poverty makes you sad, and you want to do something about it, and you have a outside, you have a problem that you want to solve on a country level, on an international level. I know a guy by the name of, he's known as Mr. Toilet, right? His name is Jackson, and he made his this toilet sanitary business, right, a number 1 business, in that sense, that because he saw that the sanitary was really an issue in many countries, and many people are sick because of that. And he has been doing this for the at least 10, 15 years now. I have the privilege to meet him and host him for a few events, and it's just so amazing that even the World Health Organization is recognizing it in one way or another, and he's well known throughout the whole world. You can Google him, Mr. Toilet guy, Mr. Toilet, and I know it sounds very crude. It sounds very, it's dirty business. Yes, he even said that on stage, right? To say that it is. Nobody wants to deal with it. That's why there's a very huge problem, and he wants to do it, and he doesn't even get paid to do it. It's really a social enterprise kind of thing. And I know of another lady. She used to fly with she used to be a flight attendant with Singapore Airline, and she was living the high life, making a lot of money, and one day, and then she was leading a very miserable life, and one day she was asked to go to Cambodia to help out, to be a volunteer. And you know what? The moment she stepped into Cambodia, in a way, there's no turning back, because she saw the poverty, and she felt a calling to help the people there. And she's been helping the people over there for the last 3-4 years, and setting up schools, and helping with the poor and all that. And she's not even being paid, so as to speak, right? She has a very big pay cut, as you can imagine, right? And all these people, right? These are the special group of people whereby you really deep down inside, you have a very, very special purpose and special calling, which you want to help the whole world. Is more than what you are. Maybe sometimes you feel that you are already very blessed, and you want to help other people. We are in Singapore. Actually, most of us are really very blessed already. So these are the 4 main scenarios that make someone to take action. But so let's look at the flip side of the coin, right? Okay, what stops you? What are the 2 root reasons that are pulling people back then? So we must know what push, but we also need to know what's pulling people back, right? There are 101 reasons, but it all boils down to, I boil it down to these 2 root reasons, right? I will call them root reasons for a reason. Okay, so the first one, okay, what pull people back is I'm not good enough, right? I can tell you 100% of us will have this I'm not good enough, including myself, right? Is either who am I to share, who am I to teach, who am I to do this and do that. And even the most snobbish people, sometimes it can come in the form of a very different way, whereby it's a very snobbish way and very proud, and people, right, deep inside, they have the greatest, this is the deepest and greatest not good enough. And it manifested in two ways. One is either you draw back and you don't do anything, or the other one is in psychology, they call it the compensation. So you compensate to be, and you make yourself bigger, right? And I think that's currently a very famous politician currently in the politics, in the government of a certain country. You can see that it's actually that is that, right? So it manifested in the other way that, I want to be very big and I want to talk loud, I say this and that, on the outside people think that he is confident or arrogant, but deep down inside there is a very deep sense of I'm not good enough, hence the compensation. So that coming back to a more grounded level is that many of us, right, we have so much to share. Oh, we want to go for that promotion. We want to go start that business. We want to go for that relationship and things and many, many other things. But yet we pull ourselves back in and say that I'm not good enough. Right. And but the thing is that you may not be good enough for everybody for the whole world, but you're good enough for somebody in some areas. And that is good enough itself, right? We'll talk about the quick tips more a bit more later on. But at this point of time, right, I just want to share this particular how I really kind of help me to overcome this I'm not good enough. It's always ongoing, right? It can be any shape and form. It can even be I'm too old, I'm too young, that kind of stuff. I'm too inexperienced, I'm too experienced. There are people who say that I'm too experienced and I can't find a job when they got retrenched from the previous job, right? But what helps me always is this poem by Marianne Williamson. In one of her famous poems, she said this, right? She said this. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. Wow, when I first read this poem, right? I mean, it's a really, really long poem. You can Google about it, right? It's called Marianne Williamson, and and I really it blows me away. And it's like we always ask, who am I to share? Who am I to teach? Who am I to do this and do that? But the question we should ask ourselves is, who are we not? Right? You are a light. You are meant to be a light to the world one way or another. Right? Okay. So you don't. So if it helps anything, if you cannot remember anything, remember this poem, right? Who are you not? Right? Okay. Let's move on to the second root reasons that are pulling people back. Is the fear of embarrassment. Now, this one we have many fears, right? FEAR, right? But I think one of the fear is why people are not taking action is the fear of embarrassment, right? So some people, okay, so after you read the poem, you are very pumped up, you finally get over your mental block and say that, okay, maybe I'm good enough, at least for this group of people, right? Okay, but then you might be might start thinking, right? Oh, what if, for example, my own self, right? I do this online Facebook Live. It can be, I start thinking, okay, now that I think that I'm good enough to share at least whatever I have. But what if nobody come and watch my video? What if nobody likes? What if nobody, what if people criticize, my sharing is terrible? What if, what if this, what if that? That kind of thing. There's so many what ifs, there's 101 reasons, that can turn you around. And actually boil down to this particular reason of this fear of embarrassment. Right? And what if people start laughing at me? That girl can't even speak properly, and then you want to go online and be a laughing stock by the whole world. But you know what? Sometimes we think too highly of ourselves. Like, not the whole world is looking at me now, not the whole world is looking at you now. In Richard Branson's words, just screw it, just do it, right? So there is nothing about embarrassment about it in that sense. That just remember, people forget. People are very, very forgetful. They may remember you for a little while, but they will forget about it. So there's really there's really, if you really think about it, there's no embarrassment to think about. Like, let me ask you, do you remember what you had for lunch yesterday or last week? You can't, right? So what makes you think that other people will remember your mistakes or your blunders, right? And those who love you will always love you. We always say, right, when it comes to this, we always say that there are 10% of people who will hate you no matter what you say, what you do. There are 10% of the people who will love you no matter what you say, what you do. And the rest of the 80% will just depends, is a depend scenario. So, you just focus on those who are going to appreciate you, those who find that your sharing going to be valuable, your contribution to be valuable, right? So these are the two root reasons, right, that are pulling people back. Now, there is also another reason that why people are what another reason why what's pulling people back, and that is another phenomenon is overwhelming. Right. So for example, when I do all this, right, I have to start learning all from scratch. I have to learn how to do this. I have to learn how to create content. I have to learn how the software, the hardware, the platform, the equipment, the lighting, and the background. It was so much to take in, right? And when it's so overwhelming, sometimes we just like, okay, I'm not going to do this because there's so much we can't handle it. And which brings me to my next point, which we will go into our quick tips now. Our quick tip number one is progression versus perfection, right? So I was feeling very overwhelmed because I was going for perfection, which a lot of us do that, right? We want to be the perfect. Oh, I know when I look at the influencers and they have 1 million followers. Their videos are so amazing. They have all these special effects and all this editing. And I'm a technosaurus. Technosaurus, technology and dinosaur. Yeah, my friend coined that term and I love it, right? So I can't do it. But the thing is that I start looking around and I find that, hey, it can't be, right? I mean, in this world and in this era, things are getting simpler and simpler. So surely there must be a way of doing it. And I start to shift my focus. And I realize that I'm focusing on the wrong thing, right? I'm focusing on the perfection, but really I should focus on the progression. And I came up with this term called progression scale. Like usually when you go do a survey, when people ask you for a survey or after attending a seminar, they will ask you how satisfied are you with our service? Like on a scale of 0 to 10, how satisfied are you? Right? So we also have a progression scale. And in the past, right, before this, we always focus on the perfect 10. But the problem is that there is no perfect 10 in this world because we ourselves are not perfect. So how can we create something perfect, right? And I realized that, I've been focusing on the wrong thing. What I should be focusing is on the skill. And on the progression scale, right, there are three digits, three numbers or three levels, if you like, that we need to focus on, right? So we'll go into that. So the first one, let's look at 0, right? Wherever you start, every single one of us, we always start from 0, right? We have nothing, we know nothing, we have an idea, I want to do this, I want to do that, I think I want to go for that deal, I want to close that deal, I want to chase that girl, chase that guy, I want to start my business, whatever it is, right? But we have no idea, right? Instead of focusing from 0 to 10, right? Can you see how big is the gap? And it's so scary, right? What we should focus on is actually the next number 1, right? So how do you get yourself from 0 to 1? Can you see straight away is you go into bite size. What is the one thing you need to do immediately, like now, right? Also, another thing you can look at is that what is the one thing that you have to do it and you cannot rely on others. So, for example, when I do all this, right? There are all the I was telling you, the hardware, the software, and the editing and all that. All this I can more or less get help or outsource it. But there is one thing I can't outsource, and that is the sharing part, right? It's because the knowledge is all in my head. I have to be the one who do the sharing. So the one thing I did from 0 to 1 is to learn how to do the sharing, right? How do other people do it? And what they use PowerPoint, they use Zoom, they use this and that. How do they do it? So I don't look at how to get to 100 viewers or 1,000 viewers. I clear that out of my mind. So I only focus the one thing. So that will take me from 0 to 1. And from 1, right, then we start to progress to 2 and to 3 and to 4. And finally, we get to 5, which is the third number that I want all of you to focus on, right? So once you get to 5, I will always rate myself, no matter how good or how bad I am. Once I get to 5, I will always rate myself 5, right? And no matter what. Why? Because when you stay at so-called stay at 5, when you rate yourself at 5, I should say, not stay at 5, right? When you rate yourself at 5, because it's right in the middle, right? There is something we look forward to. It's a reminder to myself that there is always something new for me to learn. There's always room for improvement, and that will keep me grounded and humble and not proud. I can learn from someone older, someone younger, someone newer. Doesn't matter. There's always something new for me to learn. There's always a progression, room for improvement, room for progression, right? And also at the same time, I don't put myself down to say that, oh, I'm so bad, that kind of thing. I celebrate my wins by also looking back how far I have come. It's very important to celebrate your wins. Your wins, WINS. So it's like, how far have I come? Oh, and you know what? You build on that. You build on it, build on it, wait on it. But no matter what, no matter how much I improve, I will just rate myself 5 out of 10, right? And also by rating myself 5 out of 10, when I look back, I will remind myself, right, that I've come a long way, and there have been help rendered to me. There were people who helped me. There were resources that came to me, and I shouldn't forget about that. And I help them back if possible. If I can't help them back, right, I can help those who come later on, right? So someone new who start, I know I can share my tips with them. I can help them to do this. I can pass on certain things that they might be more useful to them than to me now. So that will help me to stay grounded and humble as well, and not to forget where I came from as well, right? So this is quick tip number 1: focus on the progression and instead of the perfection, right? There's no perfect 10 in this world, honestly, right? Quick tip number 2, which is, if you can't find the why, find the who, right? And let me just share the main point. Who will benefit when you take action? Who will suffer if you don't, right? So many of us have been asked, right? If you have been to some of the personal seminar, personal development seminar, self-improvement and all that, at some point you will learn about this. They tend to teach you, you have to find your why, and you need to find the why, so that it will sort of motivate you and all that. And it is true. The why will help you through, or your passion will help you through the bad times, the difficult times, like you're bound to hit some challenges and some walls and all that, and some criticism. I'm not going to kid you, right? I mean, it's not a smooth sailing. There's no such thing as smooth sailing. Even when my friend who do sailing as a profession, there are times when the wind go against you, right? But the thing is that sometimes we can't find a why. That was what happened to me at some point. I hit a plateau when I start my business. My main goal, my big why was actually freedom, right? I wanted to do whatever I want to do whenever I can with whoever I want to, right? And it gives me the freedom in the sense that, when I can go and celebrate how about with somebody's wedding during the weekday afternoon. I can visit somebody's in the hospital on a weekday afternoon, and my friends that just passed on, somebody that passed on, I can go for the send off on a working day kind of thing. And that's the freedom I really cherish, and that's the reason why I start my own business. But at some point when I hit a plateau, and so when I first started, I was very driven. I work 18 hours a day. I wake up at 6 a.m., go to bed and sleep at midnight. It was no problem for me. And mind you, I'm not a morning person. I need 23 hours and 59 minutes sleep every day, right? I can sleep like 23 hours. And it was a very big why for me to, in terms of the freedom. At the beginning, I was very driven, right, to do whatever it takes. But as the business take shape, and I gain the momentum and all, I hit a plateau, and I start to take slack off and all that. And the thing is, and I really can't drive myself. I really cannot motivate myself, and I don't have a why anymore. I can't find a why anymore. But you know what? I found the who, and start to ask myself, when I set goals, right? But setting goals in this case was not useful to me. I didn't do anything at all. I couldn't take action at all. But when I start to ask myself, who will benefit when I take action? When I go for that bigger deal, when I go for a bigger platform, when I go for this, all the things that I want to do, and who will suffer if I don't do it, right? So when I look at it and I realize that the next milestone I want to hit is to a blessing to others, and when I go for when I take action on this, right, I can help more people. Those who need help, they can actually benefit from my action. And for some of you, right, it's actually your family. When you take that action, you can actually provide a better lifestyle for your family, right? And also, you can leave a legacy. You can set an example for your children. Because, for example, we just finished our election not so long ago, and one of the candidates was saying she did this because of her daughter. She wants to show her daughter to go for what you want. You don't have to follow mommy steps, but if you want something, go for it, right? So can you imagine if you have a goal, or you think, and you don't go, you have a dream and you don't go for it because for whatever reason, next time your children have a dream and don't dare to go for it, and then you ask them why, how come you don't dare to go for that dream of yours? You're so good, blah blah blah, and your son or your daughter turn around and say, "Daddy or mommy, you didn't go for your dream, and I don't. If you can't, have the guts to do it, I also don't have the guts to do it. If you can't do it, who am I to do it?" Right? So this is the part where who will suffer if you don't. If you don't take the action, right, you are also leaving a very negative. You can leave a negative example to your next generation as well, right? And for those who have children, you will find that the children really take you follow your parents, right? Whatever you do, they will just follow. So so if you take action, who will benefit? If you don't take action, who will suffer, right? And very often it's the one that are closest to us, and very often it's our loved ones, right? So think about it. Let that sink in for a little while, right? And so we'll just go into critique number 3, which is create the conducive environment. Okay, and you say that I know I inverted comma the environment, right? Okay, so environment is not just it includes of course, literally your environment, but it also includes other things like so I give you an example. Okay, so for example, if you want to go and start an exercise regime, you create a gym bag, right? So gym bag is your environment where you have everything in one bag, and whenever you want to go to the gym and you can feel that you want to slack and you don't want to do it, you just grab the bag and go. Now, why is this important? Because when one of the things is when people don't take action is because things are all over the place. They spend more time looking for the resources, the things, right, gathering the necessary, and by the time they gather the necessary, it's already late. Or by the time they gather the necessary, right, imagine you have to find a towel, you have to find a shoe, you have to find your clothes, you have to find your gym pass, right? Then by then you find all the things together, you are already so tired. You don't need to go to the gym, you are already spent, you have no more energy to go to the gym. But whereas if you have a gym bag with your gym pass, everything is in there, right? You just need to grab and go. And that will help you psychologically, is just grab and go. It will make things easy. Remember the first slide when I mentioned that when you make things easy, you tend to take action, right? So that's one example. Another example is like, for example, you have been wanting to write a book, or you want to do a video, to do some sharing, some over this circuit breaker period, a lot of people become cooks and bakers and chefs and all that, and maybe you want to do a video to document down, or in our example, you want to be an author. There's an author inside you. There's a book inside you. You've been meaning to write, right? And so, okay, we get over the I'm not good enough and the fear of embarrassment part. So now is to create a conducive environment. How are you going to write that book, right? So you first create the space in that sense that have a designated space whereby like a designated table and chair, a space that is meant for your writing. So the moment you sit there, of course, again, your stationery should be there, or your laptop should be there, whatever that inspire you, your coffee should be there. I have a designated space, right? A seat, right? Where I need to get creative, I will sit at a certain seat. When I need to get a little bit more straight and, just really, really write compliance stuff, proper English kind of things, serious things, to, yeah. So I will have another space, right? So in my creative space, I need my coffee, right? Sometimes I need my snacks as well, so that I need to, get into my creative juice, right? But at the same time, right, and the thing, so sometimes when I sit there, I can't think of anything at all. I have no inspiration. I don't know what to write. But you know what? Once I'm there, I will just kind of force myself to sit there, and the environment is ready for me to do anything. So even if my mind is blank, I can't write anything, I will still sit there for the designated 15 minutes or half an hour. So I will always have a designated timing to do my writing. So once the time is there, I will sit there to write. And if not, even if nothing comes to mind, I will sit there for that half an hour, right? And somehow certain things will still come on it, and usually it's the last 5 minutes, and I can quickly, really, really, the inspiration just come on so much. So I will not move until I have come to something. And as time goes by, day one, no nothing, day two, nothing. But you know what? By the time it comes day three, you will have something. And after a while, right, this conducive and you get into the momentum, your mind is changing without you realizing, and you can do whatever that you set out to do, right? Okay, so we have come to the end of the sharing. But before that, I have one more bonus tip, right? Which I don't have time to share here. But if you want the bonus tip, right, can you put bonus in the comments, and then we'll send to you. Actually, I'm still in the process of finalizing the last bit. But if you put in the comments bonus, we'll contact you and we'll send you the bonus tip. This bonus tip is fabulous, right? I can tell you I'm actually very, very proud of it. And this bonus tip is actually the one that helped me to push me forward, catapult me into doing whatever that I have done, and going to set up more things to be done. So this is the one that has helped me a lot to take action, right? So put in the comments bonus, and we will contact you to give you the bonus, okay? Right? And right, so we have come to the end. We hope you have learned something. If you have learned something, type in the chat group. What is the one takeaway that you have? And we want to stay connected with you, and you stay connected with me through in our Daily People Skills. We have our Facebook and we have our YouTube, where we post Daily People Skills tips and sessions like this to share with you how you can improve your people skills on a daily basis. Now, a lot of people are very concerned about technology and artificial intelligence, whether they are being replaced by all this technology and AI, right? And I can tell you, people skills is very, very important. It's the number one skill that everyone needs to learn, because it's the only skill that will not be replaced by technology or artificial intelligence. Because no matter what you do, no technology can replace human being, right? At the end of the day, the creator cannot be greater than the creator. The creator is always the creator. And this pandemic, right, has really shown, despite all, right, most of the country have some kind of lockdown or quarantine or stay at home kind of thing, right? And we go online a lot and all, but despite all the technology, we still crave for the connection. So what does that tell you? We are humans. We are designed to be, to connect with others. We are social animals. We are designed to connect with another person, and we need to have that people skills. And I don't care what business are you in, or what position are you in, what are you dealing with, or what industry are you in. You can say that I'm dealing with industry equipment, or I don't deal with people. You are still in the people business, right? You behind everything else, there's a human behind it. It's just like how I overcome that my fear of talking to a laptop is because I know behind the lens there's a human being, right? There's someone watching this, and it might impact your life, right? So stay connected with me through this Facebook page and our YouTube, and like and share and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.